Hello, Chris Levi13 here with Rock and Roll Wrestle Show, episode 18. Now I know right off the bat, some of y'all may be wondering, why so long between episodes 17 and 18? What was the wait, and so on and so forth? Well, let me explain before I get into the wrestling and music news from around this world. Back when I recorded episode 17 of this show, I thought I was in a good place. I could be able to be active on the channel, the page, and be able to do this show on more of a weekly/bi-weekly basis and all that. Well, that didn't happen. I got busy at work, life got to me, and I didn't really have full internet access like I wanted. So I kind of got away from the show and kind of forgot it. Then July this year came around. I was like, I need to get internet at home. I need to do this. So in August, I got internet at home hooked up that I paid for, to where I can upload videos, watch videos, be able to do the things that normal people do on the internet. And then September came around and I started saying I'm going to record the show, and then I kept waiting week after week after week. Well, it's October now, and I'm officially right now, as you speak, as you see, doing this episode 18 and getting back to doing what I love. Telling new music and wrestling news, two things that I am passionate about from my point of view. So I hope that you all will subscribe to this channel and you will enjoy the video that I'm about to give you. Now we move on to the wrestling and music part of this show, where I'll open up by talking about WWE, where the current, not just Paul Heyman guy, but Paul Heyman Beast, the Beast incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar, is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And there's a lot of positives and negatives with him being the champion. And he became champion by destroying John Cena and making John Cena job in a match, which we've never really seen John Cena do that in a main event match, at this year's SummerSlam, giving John Cena 2 F5s and 16 German suplexes. And then John Cena went to put in his rematch clause and lost to Brock Lesnar, even though he won via DQ, because Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins, came in, slid in the ring, got John Cena out, said, I want to cash in. And then he went in there and tried to do something to Brock Lesnar. But what happened? Cena got back up and knocked him out, which led to Cena winning via DQ. Which means Brock Lesnar still keeps the championship. Now, Brock Lesnar being championship is showing that part-timers besides The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, can work. He's showing that him not being there at every show and Paul Heyman have to speak of is getting him lots of heat. And that's what a good bad guy does. But if you want to know more about what I think about Brock Lesnar being champion, I'm going to have a video come on my channel soon that describes my opinion on Brock Lesnar, my opinion and thoughts on Brock Lesnar being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now on to John Cena. Did just John Cena stay in the picture against Brock Lesnar? Maybe. But now they currently got him in a picture that's Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose picture. Which I see Cena, the modern day Hulk Hogan. Dean Ambrose, obviously, he's the modern day Roddy Piper. And Seth Rollins, he's just Mr. Money in the Bank. A great, and they're all good wrestlers. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose being way better wrestlers than John Cena, in my opinion. But and a lot of people might agree with that, but some people might not. But as Cena, I think Cena, he's kind of helping the Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose feud out, but there is ways that he can mess up. Because Cena has been in there with newer guys before, like the Nexus and so on and so forth, and just like went in there, tried to help him out. Alex Riley, and so on and so forth. But Cena, I think he should go in there and try do his best to help out the Seth and Dean Ambrose feud, but the Seth and Dean Ambrose feud needs to end with them having either a match inside the cell or them going on to the next pay-per-view and having a big epic match to end the Seth Rollins Dean Ambrose feud. Because I don't see this feud going on much longer, but it may go on another month or two at most, in my opinion, because I don't want to see it go much longer than that. Because I feel like Seth needs to go after somebody else, Dean needs to go on and do something else, and that's just my opinion. Now, as for Cena, he might get another match with Brock, but I don't see that happen. I see Brock getting a new opponent like Orton, or build up Sheamus to drop the title to somebody like Rusev or something, and then Sheamus can go on, drop the United States title to Rusev or somebody, and then he can go on and face Brock Lesnar. But only time can tell. Now, as for the Authority, which Seth Rollins is a part of, with Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Corporate Kane. Right quick, I'll say this. I do not like Corporate Kane. I prefer Kane, the Demon Kane, the regular Kane, the destructive Kane, whether he has the mask on or whether he has the mask off. The guy that went in there and went beast mode in matches and destroyed people. This little watered down Kane, I do not like. This little Kane that's kind of like, oh, I'm going to be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon's little puppet. I do not like him. Now, as for the Authority, they've been there almost a year, if not more. And they are what they are. They're like the corporation. They're a big heel section. They're helping their guys do what they got to do. They didn't help Randy Orton get his one-on-one match or him get his, and get the title or like that, but they got Brock Lesnar the title, so yeah. Let me take a little drink real quick. Now, some other things that are happening on the main roster. You've got AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife. CM Punk walked out, and the company do not like that, do not respect that, because he had a contract and blah, blah, blah. But AJ Lee versus Paige. It's been going back and forth since AJ Lee came back and defeated her for the title. But Paige did get it back there for a minute, and then AJ got it back at the pay-per-view when they had a triple threat with Nikki Bella thrown into it, which Nikki Bella had no reason to really be there. They just need to give Brie Bella and Nikki Bella their big match and let that feud die away and go away, because I really don't care for them. They're doing better, but not much better. Now, as for AJ Lee and Paige, two of the best women wrestlers on the main roster. AJ Lee, phenomenal. Paige, she was phenomenal in NXT. That's why she was the NXT Women's Champion. And their feud is good. I like them going back and forth with the title. But I feel like the feud, just like with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, not going longer than a month or two more longer. Because you need to throw some divas in there. Throw some people like Natalya, Summer Rae, Layla, any of the other divas that are good wrestlers into that match, into that feud, and make that divas title much more prestigious. Make it not just one or two, three women around it at times. Because, hell, if you were to put a woman that is on Total Divas with the title, that'd make that show probably get a few more views, maybe. Now, I go to Rusev! Rusev, the Russian guy. Sorry, I said that. I was reading my little paper and I looked at the wrong name. Sorry about that. That little paper right there, that helps me keep track of, so I don't forget the things and I do this show right. Now, to Rusev. He has defeated Jack Swagger. He has defeated Mark Henry. And he has defeated Big Show. But is the feud with him and Big Show over? We do not know yet. But I will say this. Him defeating Swagger, I think since Swagger turned good guy, I think Swagger should have gone over him. But that's what WWE wants to keep doing that. Mark Henry, I think Mark Henry should have gone, because Rusev, he's not as great as a wrestler as everybody thinks. He's got a few moves here and there. But I like to see Rusev. I like to see Rusev take the mic and speak. I like to see Rusev not just be Lana's little puppet and do this stuff, Because yes, the great thing, Russia versus USA. Wah, 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 wah. Well, you know what? It's getting boring. And I know people are saying, they're probably going to have John Cena come in there and win and defeat him. Or they're going to get Kurt Angle back in the company and defeat him. Well, we don't know, do we? And I don't want to see either of those. I'd like to see some young guy or some current guy that's not really doing much on the roster come in and defeat Rusev. Then you've got Sheamus being the United States Champion, which is alright. You've got Dolph being the Intercontinental Champion in kind of a feud with The Miz, who is playing Hollywood Miz, kind of like The Rock did in 2003 when he played Hollywood Rock for a minute there. And you've got Goldust and Cody Rhodes, who's playing Stardust, the tag team champions. Now, Sheamus, U.S. champion, I like. Wish he would have bigger, stronger, better feuds. Dolph, I like what he's doing with The Miz. And I like Dolph working with R-Truth and kind of like the little thing there. And I like Miz working with Sandow as Damien Mizdow. And Goldust and Stardust being the champions. tag team champions. I like that because when their first reign, when it was Cody Rhodes and Goldust, just, I like that. But now, I think WWE is doing pretty good. And even on NXT, you've got Adrian Neville being the NXT champion and Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter, being the women's champion of NXT. Two great, phenomenal wrestlers. You've even got other people like the Ascension, Sami Zayn, Tyson Kidd, Justin Gabriel. And Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel, yeah, they've been on Metro, but they're working down there in NXT and doing phenomenal. And and you've got Tyler Breeze and all these other names that are going to come up to the main roster within the next year, and they're going to make the main roster so much better because of what they did on NXT. And NXT has got guys coming in it from the indies. You know who they are, and they're great, great guys for WWE to acquire. Now I'm fixing to talk about some TNA and ROH news. Now in TNA, I've only got a few talks about TNA, which I will gather more throughout the weeks. But in TNA, I'm not going to say spoilers, but in TNA, we've got World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Lashley. He's a guy that when I saw him in WWE, I thought he could be the World Heavyweight Champion. Never saw him be a WWE Champion, but I see him when we were in a championship, but that never happened, and then he left the company. Now he's back on TV and back in TNA. And him being World Champion in TNA and working with MVP, former WWE Superstar, and Kenny King, I like it. It's a good heel. It's a good bad guy stable. And I'm thinking him being champion, his stuff with Eric Young was phenomenal. I liked it. Hell, I like Eric Young. Eric Young is one of my top 10 favorite TNA stars ever. And with Bobby Lashley being champion, I don't know how much longer he will be champion, but I hope the next person he goes for his belt gives him a top tier match. Then you've got one of my friend David Flores' favorite teams ever, if not his favorite tag team of all time. The Wolves are the American Wolves, however you may call them, being the TNA Tag Team Champions, and they're in an epic series of matches with Team 3D and Team The Hardys. Makes you think, flashback, when the 3D was called the Dudleys and the Hardys, and you had Edge and Christian in there. Man, those matches back in the day in WWE. Put it years later. Just add take EC out, put the Wolves in, put it in TNA. That's what kind of thing is going on there, and I love it. Now, I wish TNA had some more tag teams, and they would just throw all these 3 tag teams in a match. But they're putting on good shows, doing good matches, so I'm loving it. You've got X Division champion Samoa Joe. He's a TNA legend in my thing. He's in my top 5 of TNA superstars of all time. And I hope that the next person he has a feud with or whatever happens next to him, he can just keep soaring up. Because I'd like to see Samoa Joe not just only be X Division champion, but be TNA World Heavyweight Champion one more time. Then you've got the newest diva, the newest knockout, because they don't call them divas, they call them knockouts here. The newest knockout on the roster, Havoc, defeating Gail Kim to become the Knockouts Champion. Havoc, she's a big woman. She's a strong woman. She's a powerful woman. You know what I like to see? TNA, get back Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong versus Havoc. Boom! Yeah. Yeah, this is just a little sheet. It'll help me keep track of everything that I need to talk about so I don't forget. Because sometimes I do. Then you've got, in other wrestling news, the Evolve Champion, Drew Galloway, formerly Drew McIntyre in WWE. Coming off of what he's done in WWE to back to the Indies, he is doing phenomenal. He looks better than has had in a long time. When he came off WWE, and I seen this little video that was posted around Facebook and all this, and he was dropping a bomb and doing this and saying that and attacked one of his friends and all this. I was like, whoa, it's Drew Galloway's back, yeah. Hell, he's doing better now than he was in WWE. He was giving him that 3-man job group. Then you've got IWGP champion, former TNA star, AJ Styles. AJ Styles is one of my favorites ever. He always puts on a good match. He always does amazing things. He's one of the currently best wrestlers in the world. Now, I don't know every wrestler that's out there in the world. I don't know every federation that's out there in the world, but from the people and the ones that I do know, he is one of the best in the world. Then you go to ROH, and he is currently still working back in ROH, which is phenomenal. You've got World Champion Jay Briscoe, Tag Red Dragon, Kelly O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish, Red Dragon. Nick White, I know you like them. You got World TV Champion Jay Lethal. Those champions, pretty cool. Which, I'm sorry that I'm not giving as good other news outside of WWE, but I will talk more on TNA, ROH, and all that as I get back in the swing of doing these videos and being on a more of a weekly basis. And then outside of all wrestling news, you got the Bullet Club. And then you've got this thing that I watched this video of earlier, about an hour or two ago. This Lucha Underground thing, this new federation that's getting built up. And you have guys like John Morrison, which in the video he even referred to the Undertaker, Cena, Shawn Michaels, and such. And you've got Chavo Guerrero, the Guerrero family, and a couple other guys that people have probably seen working for that federation. And I saw that video, I was like, Lucha Underground, that's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. Which you should check out. Lucha Underground is what it's called. Now, on to the last portion of this show. The music. Slipknot is releasing on October 21st, The Great Chapter. The first album since the passing of bassist Paul Gray and the release of Joey Jordison, the drummer. I didn't like Joey Jordison left. Did not at all. But there's a lot of things to it. I know that a friend of mine told me, but I kind of forgot someone. But I just don't like that he left because I think Slipknot is a great band. But I think Joey Jordison just felt so good being there in the pocket, hitting the drums and all that. But their new drummer, whoever he may be, is pretty good themselves, and their new bassist is good too. But The Great Chapter is the first album that they've put without those two guys in the band, and it's kind of showing the grieving period and how they're taking the loss of Paul Gray and all this. That's why they say Gray in that album name. Which I've heard a snippet of a few songs here, and I've got The Devil in the Eye and all that, and it's classic Slipknot, but also some newer stuff, which is interesting. And when the album does come out, I will go to the store and I will buy a CD copy of it, because I will support the band by doing that. And I'll play it on my CD player and rock out to it and just see how everything's put together in their first album since the one guy left and the other guy passed away. Then my favorite band of all time, Foo Fighters, because of Dave Grohl. Some of you may not like them, some of you may not like, but they're one of my favorite bands of all time. They got their new album come out November 10th called Sonic Highways, where they traveled through, and they have this little thing, they travel through these different studios and these places and all that, and just kind of put the fire more back into the band. Their last album was awesome. This album should be awesome, because I've liked everything that Foo Fighters done since the 90s, from Everlong to Best of You to probably this, to everything, you know. And then there's two songs I just want to point out that were just recently released. 3 Days Grace, I Am Machine. That right there, classic 3 Days Grace. You should go on YouTube, check out that video. And another video you should check out is Rev Theory's Born to Destroy. I heard Rev Theory's Born to Destroy first yesterday, and I shared it, and I just kept bumping that song, and it was like, just amazing. Now, to sum this show up, I may not have the best music and wrestling news that I could, but this is the first episode of me back. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope, please, for the people that have YouTube pages and are a fan of my videos in the past, the present, and the future, please hit that subscribe button. And also look me up on Instagram and Twitter. But also go check out the Rock and Roll Wrestling Show Facebook page and hit like there, and follow all the content that I post there and do throughout the week, the month, the year, so on and so forth. And unlike my other videos that I've done in the past, this Rock and Roll Wrestling Show, this season 3, will have a new show coming to you within the next couple weeks, when I get another chance to record an episode. Thank you for your time, and as always, keep on rocking and a rolling. Rocking and a rolling. Yeah!